If you're looking for more fun this weekend, there is plenty going on around the Twin Cities. The Como Zoo has a free noon years I love that. Noon Year's Confetti Dance Party starting at 10 a.m. In the afternoon, the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum will host a Winter Lights New Year's Eve party. It's $15 for members, $30 for non-members, and $5 for kids 15 and under. It is the last night to check out the Glow Holiday Festival at CHS Field in St. Paul, so check that out as well. If your weekend plans are outside, you'll want to dress a little warmer. John shows us what we can expect as temperatures dip.
Well, it was a chilly start to start off your Friday. We are going to get a lot of sunshine, though, building into the afternoon. 1, 3 o'clock, we'll get up to 37. I actually think a lot of places are going to touch 40 today. Here's what it looks like for afternoon highs: 40, 41 in St. Cloud, Rochester, still around 39. This is a quiet day. We did have some slick spots this morning, even on the road, some overpasses. But this afternoon's going to be good. But then tomorrow we've got a little system that we are tracking. So today looks like we're going to be all in the clear. Lots of sunshine. Tracking a quick moving clipper. This one comes in Saturday afternoon. We're going to see increasing cloud cover. And then as we get to Saturday night, we will see some light snow, especially north and east of the Twin Cities. We'll track this entire thing out. We'll also take a look at totals in your full forecast.
Thank you, John. Right now, we are keeping an eye on a traffic situation on I-94. State Patrol tells us southbound 252 to eastbound 94 and northbound 94 to westbound 94 could be closed until 1 this afternoon. Troopers say a Honda spun out on the ramp. A semi then hit it, rolled, and spilled what it was carrying. Both drivers were taken to the hospital but are expected to be okay. Take a look at this crash caught on camera this morning. It happened on Highway 169 near Excelsior. State Patrol tells us the Nissan spun out just before 5 a.m. and Minnetonka PD was the first on the scene. One of their squad cars was then hit by a second vehicle, and you can see that driver jump out of the car and run away. The scene then leads to a multiple vehicle pileup at the same scene, including a jackknife semi. My goodness, the officer was not hurt, and the first driver is expected to be okay. Like John said, temperatures today will still be pretty warm, and as reports of ice rescues continue to come in, we're taking a look at the ice conditions around the state.
I'm Danny Spiewak. It's no secret that we've had a very bizarre December, and right now Como Lake and St. Paul, among many others in the Twin Cities, are completely free of ice. The DNR, though, is warning those that may be traveling north where there is at least some ice, saying you have to be careful, and that just because it's late December doesn't mean that ice is necessarily safe. There have already been some rescues up in Beltrami County, other resort areas that are very popular amongst those that are coming from the Twin Cities and the rest of the state. So the DNR just putting out that warning again, saying you have to wait for it to freeze, give it that cold snap, and then the lakes will have enough ice for it to be safe for you to go on them.
All right, thank you, Danny. Earlier this week, the state commission in charge of the redesign of the state flag held its last meeting. Now, at least one county says they're not ready for the change. Crow Wing County's commission plans to vote in the new year on sending a letter to the governor and other lawmakers about the redesign, basically saying they'd rather fly the old one. The issue was brought up earlier this week at the regular county board meeting.
I have, through a couple calls and a lot of social media posts, I have heard displeasure, a lot of displeasure from my constituents about this changing of the Minnesota flag. It, in my mind, it feels like we're whitewashing our history because somebody's offended by something on the flag, which I don't understand at all. Now we're whitewashing or changing our history.
The old flag was criticized over its depiction of Native Americans. The new flag is set to fly on May 11th. That's if the legislature does not undo the Design Commission's work. Today, the University of Wisconsin Board of Regents is meeting to discuss the firing of UW-La Crosse Chancellor Joe Gao. Gao was let go because he made adult films with his wife and posted them online. Now he says it's his right to do this, adding that he didn't break any laws and he did it on his own time. The former chancellor says he hasn't ruled out taking legal action on his own behalf. Gao is claiming his actions are a matter of free speech. At least 30 people are dead in what Air Force officials are calling the biggest Russian aerial attack so far in the Ukraine war. Officials say Russia launched 122 missiles and dozens of drones. Ukraine's military chief says they were able to intercept most of the attacks overnight. However, along with dozens of deaths, officials say at least 144 people are hurt, and they don't know how many people may still be buried under rubble. Leaders in Israel are hearing growing calls to resume talks with Hamas to free more hostages. NBC's Josh Letterman brings us the latest following the death of an American.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been meeting with the families of hostages in the Gaza Strip, saying that talks for their release are ongoing, but not giving any details about progress, as we are learning that one of those hostages, an American citizen, is no longer alive. 70-year-old Judy Weinstein had been believed to be a hostage in Gaza, but now the kibbutz where she's from says she was actually murdered in Israel during the October 7th terror attacks and her body brought to Gaza. This as we are also hearing about new Israeli airstrikes in Rafah in the Gaza Strip that the Palestinian Health Ministry, run by Hamas, says killed dozens, as Israel has also been acknowledging some serious mistakes in this war, including acknowledging another airstrike on Christmas Eve that killed civilians at a refugee camp in central Gaza. And in the meantime, there are new tensions that have been breaking out really throughout the Middle East, with the U.S. Navy saying that it shot down a ballistic missile overnight that was launched by Iran-backed Houthi rebels from Yemen into the Red Sea. And Israel and Hezbollah have both been exchanging fire throughout the morning on the Lebanese border, as there are continuing fears of a potential regional war breaking out. Israeli leaders saying they're not looking for a war, but that time for diplomacy to avert that type of a conflict is running out. Josh Letterman, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Back at home, dozens of new state laws take effect on Monday. Here's some you may not be as familiar with. In 2024, school districts will be required to provide menstrual products to students in 4th through 12th grades free of charge. Landlords will have to keep their buildings at least 68 degrees from October 1st to April 30th and must give 24 hours notice before coming into your apartment. And a family member can now petition the court to stop someone from having access to a firearm for a year if they think they are a danger to themselves or others. In